Welcome back. In this segment, we want to have a review of what is going on in the oil and gas sector, especially even as the National Oil and Gas Week is holding currently in Abuja. Quite a few issues that has happened that we want to look at. To join me in that important conversation is our oil and gas expert, Mr. Henry Ademola Adigun. Ademola, welcome back to Inside Sources.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure being here.
All right. Let's start with an update on the new leadership at the NNPCL. Quite a few things. One of the things that I find interesting is that there was a statement recently that was made by the NNPC management. It wasn't signed by a new spokesperson because Mr. Shoneye had resigned. But it was what is said in that statement that I find a little bit curious, that there are internal and external saboteurs that are trying to discredit the new leadership. And there was no reference at all to anything specific. But, before that, there was this news that the NNPC leadership went to Kigali and they flew 5 private jets. My own inside tracking shows that it's not actually 5 private jets, less than that. But people have also raised, the issues around, why do you guys have to spend so much money on a retreat? So that was what preceded that statement by the management that said that, there are internal and external saboteurs. My point, and I would like you to respond, is that I think the president sent Mr. Ojulari to that place to go and get a job done. And I think it's pretty too early, in my view, to have this kind of this kind of feedback, boss, what's your take?
Well, I'm a little bit disappointed that earlier in the tenure of the new leadership of NNPC, this is happening. My view is that you go somewhere to undertake reforms. Before you commence, or as you commence, you first of all understand the system. You take time to understand how it works, what makes it work, and how it takes. You don't go there in a rush. You don't go there and do things the way you did it where you were coming from. You look at who is working, what is working, and how it worked. And when you make errors, you admit your errors. You don't. The statement of saboteurs is very unfortunate and should never have been released. You're not fighting a war. NNPC is a company owned by Nigerians. We all own NNPC. Whether it's through Mopi or Mofi, it's owned by all of us.
Right.
Your statements should be positive. When you say there are internal saboteurs in a company you are heading or you are leading,
it's a self-indictment.
It's an indictment of your leadership. You've not been there for long. How do you come and say something like that? It just tells you you are saying I'm under pressure. You are saying I don't find it supportive. You are saying people that are working for you that I do not trust you. How do people do not trust deliver results for you?
Right.
That shouldn't have been said. I think a lot of coaching needs to be given to those who are in leadership in understanding how to phrase words, how to manage crisis, and how to issue statements. You do not do such things. Mr. Shoneye resigning was not a good positive sign as well. Whatever you try to hide comes to the public domain. Look, in government, in leadership, nothing is private. Whether people swear oaths with Ogun or Shango, they will talk. They don't talk with their mouth, they talk with their lips, or with their eyes, with their nose.
They will whisper.
Nothing happens secretly. Do things easily. Take it slowly. Manage people well. Be engaging. Do not focus on the business.
Right.
Raising NNPC's profitability, making it a more attractive company for investments, raising oil production in Nigeria through your partnership and other things. Do that. Forget about your saboteurs. In every establishment, whether even in the family, there are saboteurs. Internally, externally, overtly, and everything. It's a Nigerian way of thinking. But saying such, it's an admission of defeat.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Mr. Adigun, because in our previous discussion, we all expressed confidence in Mr. Ojulari's leadership.
And we do.
Coming from Shell, came with a lot of credentials, and also Mr. Kida, who is the chair of the board. But I think they are already missing the resignation. The departure of Mr. Femi Shoneye, because, when I saw that statement, just like you said, you don't make this kind of statement. I wanted to ask you, Mr. Adigun, why did you think Mr. Shoneye left?
Well, I think a lot of reasons why I made him leave. But I know people resign mainly for two reasons. They resign either for personal reasons, maybe health or issues, or they can't work with their boss. I think on this place that him and Mr. Ojulari could not work together for a lot of reasons. When a person is in a job and feels threatened by a supervisor,
Right.
you can't have confidence in him.
Yeah.
And when you're accused of issues that you might not know about, and you're said to be a saboteur or whatever we hear from outside sources, then you can't really be confident. And the mistake I think that was made was, it's when the people work in Shell and all this Total and all these big companies, they don't understand the difference.
Yes, in the private sector, essentially.
It's a private sector and they are well trained and they are good, but they don't understand what it means to manage a public corporation like an NNPC. It's not, Mr. Ojulari's mistakes are not new. Kachiko had the same mistakes when he came as MD and NNPC as well.
Okay.
Because first of all, they come with that mindset of, oh, you guys I'm working with are not competent.
Okay,
not
you guys don't know what you're doing here.
These guys don't know what they're doing. I can bring in people from outside.
You can solve the problem.
That never happens. That never works. You can dilute leadership, you can dilute management, you can dilute operations, but it's called dilution. And you do it gradually. You do it after you've understood the system. The system will need to support you. You can't turn overnight NNPC to Shell.
Yeah.
You can't bring everybody from Wando or Total or everything. If you see places that are identifiable, where there are gaps, you can bring them in.
Feel it.
But you cannot inspire confidence in people if you come with the mindset that, oh, you're all incompetent.
Right.
And the way you act will send messages to your people. When you sack somebody like Shona or he resigns, you are dividing your house by your own hands. You are dividing your house in the management of his departure, in circumstances related to his departure, and you are now making the place more confident. And people in public corporations, they have one capacity. They know how to wait.
Yeah.
They've seen you come and go.
Exactly.
They will sit down and say,
good point.
Come, we've seen you before. They will tell you what happened in 1974. They'll tell you what happened in 1982. What happened in 1982. They know the history. It's in their hands. So you come in, you step gently.
Yeah.
You try and understand the system first.
Yeah.
You are in a hurry to deliver. Yes, you will deliver, but you don't do it in a hurry. You do it by ensuring small steps. And you don't focus on the threats externally and issue statements that people are trying to destroy your leadership. Nobody asked you to use private jets. Nobody asked you to go to Kigali. That decisions were made by you.
Yeah.
And I tell people,
he has to take responsibility for that.
You have to. In the world of social media, in the world of iPhones, in the world of gadgets, nothing is secret.
Nothing is secret.
People can take a photograph of anything you said. You want somebody to photocopy the approval? You want somebody to photocopy the logistics? If you can't stand with the decision you have made, don't make it.
Right.
Every decision you make must have to scrutiny of interpretation, perception, and others. People are in an economy where we're all bleeding, where we're all trying to make our daily meal. Then somebody says you guys are flying, maybe whether it's 2 jets or 10 jets, and you're going to Kigali, and you're saying...
They reported 5, but, I think it's less than that.
And people will ask you that. Why? Have you seen any Kigali person come to Nigeria for a treat?
Exactly.
Have you seen any Rwandan come out with it in Eco Hotel? Well, I mean, we do a lot of things in Nigeria that are waste.
Yeah.
So the perception of people seeing that is wrong. You are coming to a corporation that is in real times bleeding. I mean, nobody believes the things you publish about your profits and everything. It's a lot of crap. So you bring people know things are not going well. Then the first signals you send is, oh, we are here again to continue to enjoy and no departure from the past. He could have sent a signal by saying, okay, we're doing it in Akwa Ibom.
Yeah.
We are doing it in Jos or doing somewhere else.
Right.
That sends a signal that this
these people is different.
Leadership is not only what you see, what you do, what people perceive you are doing, and how people interpret the actions you make.
Let's move on to this issue that is going on in the Senate. The Public Accounts Committee of the Senate coming up with this 210 trillion. That's a whole lot of money. And I think it's the account of NNPC for a number of years and raising some alarms around the financial audit. And people have pushed back, not openly, but from behind the scene. They say that, no, these are just accounting technical issues. This is not something that is deserving of the kind of alarm that the Senate has raised. So, Mr. Adigun, tell us what actually is happening.
What's happening is what has always happened in NNPC. NNPC, by many people in government, by leaders in government, is perceived as a petty cash account. It's where they finance everything they can't finance. One of the reasons why we were working on the PIA, was to remove that ability of interference of government into the financial management of NNPC to ensure that NNPC was protected and fenced from government interference and government asking them to pay for gunboat, pay for shipping, pay for wedding. So that was one of the ideas of it. but he's entrenched. Now, NNPC had a burden of carrying subsidy of government when they said there was no subsidy. Remember when the government came in, your government, you guys said it was overpricing, it was underpricing, and NNPC was paying that price.
Yeah.
And when in paying that price,
using all kinds of language to just
it was
confusion.
also, I mean, just lying now, just lies. It was just not make it, let's not make it nice. They were lying. Everybody was lying. There was subsidy, and they was calling it over this, over that. Now NNPC has that burden, and NNPC has carried that burden for a long time. Secondly, I do not trust any member of the Senate. One of the habitual problems the Senate has given to the country is over interference in the leadership and running of companies.
At times it looked like a shakedown.
I think that's the right way to do it. I was being polite by not saying what you said. It is what it is. So they've lost the trust of Nigerians. The Nigerians don't believe anything they say. Oh, they want 1 million missing, 20 billion missing. Then they call them in. Nothing happens. Bling, 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 bling. Shake hands. They see each other in the evening.
And we have seen several instances.
Nobody believes anybody.
Off the mic, the guy that came in fainted. We never hear
at the end of the day,
matter.
It's a shakedown. And that is why nobody is taking them seriously anymore. That's why neither NNPC, neither the public, I don't think they take themselves seriously.
Yeah.
Even they don't take themselves seriously. Now, somebody just wake up one day and say, okay, here's an opportunity for Christmas or to do Easter or to do Salah. Then they call out the leadership and everything. It doesn't mean NNPC is transparent. NNPC has a lot of issues.
It does.
I don't believe what they publish. Half of what they publish is junk.
Yeah. We've talked about it on this show.
It is junk. It is junk. Nobody believes their numbers. It's a junk. It's a corporation running on loss. But when they come and tell us, oh, they made 2 trillion in 1 month, what are you selling? What are you delivering? You have refineries not working, you have overhead balances, your accounting. I mean, accounting is a funny thing. Accountants can make a figure look anyhow they like it.
Yeah.
They can say 50% loss or 50% profit. It's the same thing. If it's maybe the same English. If you say 50% profit, it's 50% loss.
Well,
so it's how you say it.
In the ethics expert, we call it that is cooking the books.
But they all do that. I mean, you see an NNPC account when a big audit firm like what's their name, Pricewaterhouse, will have disclaimers on it. And you look at disclaimers and say, okay, why did you do the audit if you have so much disclaimers on there? I mean, I remember one time, some years ago, I was worked out of NNPC and I was alleged to have published a figure on a paper, nothing to do with my own organization at that time, that we published something on papers that made NNPC look fraudulent and false. And I was asked to not come to NNPC and I'm like, what is this that we published? I don't even know anything about it. I read it on Guardian and papers like Po. It was NRG, one of our partners that did the work.
Right.
But the point is, you can't hide lies forever. You need to be transparent. You need to be putting things publicly. Let people know what is the issue. You are running a corporation that you need to get out of a mess. You are running a corporation that needs to be competitive. You're running a corporation that has to make profit to Nigerians. Do it. Don't get yourself hold up in this thing. And I think the sooner they go to the market, the sooner they have dilution of the shares and people that are trustworthy are there, can go. They have a good board now. I mean, I have confidence in their board. Yeah. But a board is only as good as what they get and what they see. A board can't run operations. Whatever they bring, whether it's Kida, whatever they bring, will only rely on what they give to him. So it's what they give to him internally that they will use. But they have a responsibility of let's move forward to a corporation that's making money for Nigerian, as competitive and attracting investments.
All right, excellent. So we are challenging both NNPC and the Senate Public Account Committee to make sure that they go to the end of this matter. If it's indeed what you call it to be, if it's not a shakedown, then it behoves on the Senate Accounts Committee to make sure that we get to the root of this matter. Otherwise, further public confidence will be lost.
I will not hold my breath on that.
Last question. What is happening between Dangote and oil distribution, where he's now saying that, people, he wants to give the suppliers some kind of a break so that, they don't have to go to the depot. How does that, I mean, how does all of this affect the industry, in your view? First of all, explain it to our viewers, Papa.
So it's a simple play. What Dangote refinery is saying is bypass depot owners, bypass tank owners, bypass middlemen, buy direct from us. You do from us, we'll absorb the cost of your transportation logistics. Saying, look, if you come to me directly with this number of volume, with this amount of money, I'll bring the truck to your station. You don't have to pay on the volume. You don't have to pay depot owners. So it's a way of becoming the supply chain.
Knocking out the depots.
They are perishing as I speak to you. Wow. If this goes on forever, a lot of people make a lot of losses. A lot of money will be lost. And Dangote himself is fighting for survival. I mean, you spent so much money on a refinery. It seems that you're not getting the market you want. You've tried several ways, increase price, decrease price, increase price, decrease price, all the ways of knocking out your competitors. You now get to the play of saying, okay, let me do a move. Let me say I'll take 1 trillion, which is what they published on their own, and let me see whether you can survive the problem. So what we're looking now is a fight for dominance, a fight for survival, a fight for relevance.
By Dangote?
By all of the parties.
Okay,
Dangote is fighting for his own survival.
What are the other parties?
Ipman, Moman are also fighting for their own survival.
And those are the Dapman and the rest of them, those are the depot owners?
Depot owners, major marketers, Ipman, NATO, Nupeng. NATO is suffering. NATO is national transport owners. They own the tankers.
The trucks.
If Dangote put 4,000 CNG trucks, what would they be carrying? How do they make money? So everybody's affected by that decision.
But is this move by Dangote refinery, is it good for the industry? Last question.
Well, I have this where I see it. I am pro-innovation.
Okay.
I'm pro-efficiency.
Right.
Well, if you can bring innovation to a system and make it more efficient, I think it's good for you to do that. But if your move is such that would, on the long run, make you a monopolist and make you a dominant single player of price determination, I'm opposed to that. But I can't fault any move that will make the price I pay for petrol or diesel or any product cheaper. But I also not look at the short run alone. I look at what happens when you have no competitors anymore. When you now become so determinant of pricing, of costs and everything, what happens to me, the retailer? So for the industry, it's not the best. What I have not seen and what I expect to see is the regulators and the Federal Competition Council doing their job. The FCCPC, after Mr. Irukera has been removed, is dead. I can say that with all sense of responsibility.
What about all the progress that we see?
What are the progress you see?
Mr.
You have.
Tunji Bello,
I am not seeing any progress.
Dealing with these subscribers, DSTV.
These are things that were started up by Tunde Irukera.
Okay.
It seems as if
he is also their lawyer.
Yeah, well, as soon as they started, as soon as they changed the leadership, things went down the hill in that place.
But they seem to have been coming up, at least in terms of advocacy.
Advocacy is
I see a lot of their press releases.
Okay, imagine a simple issue. A court in Nigeria says he's not allowing you to join a case on competition. You had filed to be joined in the suit. Okay. When Dangote went and sued the government and other people around importation of petrol. Okay. You are the Competition Council. The judge says, either erroneously or in his wisdom, or however they say it in law, says, no, you are not a party to the suit. Where is the appeal? A law that you anchor, that rests on you, interpretation, determination rests upon you, you're not fighting that. You dropped the ball. That is dropping the ball. There is no way you shouldn't have been joining that suit. You should have been filing several courts to be joining that suit. Because whatever the outcomes of that suit happen, it affects you.
Interesting.
What are you playing at?
Interesting.
In this issue you're talking about, in the Dangote, Ipman, Moman, Dapman, where are they? What are they saying about it? I mean, yeah, they're doing small advocacy as they ought to do, but the major key issues.
The more important areas.
They are living it. Okay. So it seems to be more of a political organization now than an advocacy organization. They take on the fights that are small, but the big fights they ignore and pretend to be sleeping.
All right, that's a big challenge to Mr. Tunji Bello, who has also been here. That look, Nigerians want you to get involved in what is happening in the oil and gas industry. Thank you so much, Mr. Henry Ademola Digun.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
For coming to Inside Sources and opening up these issues for understanding. And thank you for your services and contribution to national development.
Thank you very much.
And there you have it, another edition of Inside Sources. Like we always say, Nigeria will prevail because we will not relent in raising the major issues of the day, just so we get to where we all believe is the destiny of Nigeria, which is the greatness that is far above where we are right now. Thank you for watching. My name is Laolu Akonde, and by the grace of God, I will see you at the next edition.